Hi, I'm Miss Moreau, and I've known Mr. Cottman ever since we taught together at MAFS. One thing I want to say about Mr. Cottman is that a lot of people in this profession say that they have a heart for kids, but Mr. Cottman truly had a heart for kids. He loved these kids, he cared about these kids. Many of them viewed him as a father figure. I know many kids told us that the last thing that he said to them on a conference call the day before he passed was that he loved them.
I was here before he got here, and ever since he got here with the new administrative team, I've just seen the school take leaps and bounds, and he was just a huge part of that. He was a champion for the school. He spoke good things about the school wherever he went. And I think another part of his legacy will definitely just be, the type of person he was. I mean, he was compassionate, he was patient, he was very slow to react, which was something that he definitely was teaching me indirectly. He really was careful with his words, he was encouraging. I mean, he was really just a great role model, especially, for us young black men.
And I remember he was telling me, like everybody else in the Zoom call, that we gotta take college serious. He said, if it don't apply, let it fly. And when he would start talking more, I was like, to Mr. Cottman, I said, can you start texting the group chat more, telling us you love us more, to keep us motivated, because sometimes we be feeling down when we don't get no motivation from time to time. And before he hung up the call, he told me that he was like, Rashad, I love you, and keep pushing. And I told him I love him more. And then I just hung up the phone.
Our first memories together were him trying to get me into the program. He never gave up. He was persistent on trying to get this grade A student in his program. And he finally built it up, and we were proud when the next year he could call it a school.
I want to say that Mr. Cottman was a dearly good father to every student. It didn't matter if the person was bad or good, he was there, and that he cared for those that needed something, and that especially he loved us, even as his own child. All my love goes to the family.
I mean, Mr. Cottman was a rock for this school. He was, when I think about his legacy, I think about how much a role model he was for everyone here. You talk about a guy who's a black male in a city that was just, had done everything right. He's a family man, a guy that was loved by all his students, a leader at the school. For the teachers, the young ones especially, the ones that are coming up, giving advice on anything. So he's going to be remembered for a long time here.
That was the sound of children singing. I think it's an appropriate representation of what Mr. Cottman stood for. We made that recording over the summer, along with Mr. Cottman's son Seth. He's singing on that with his friends. And when I think of Mr. Cottman, I was one of the lucky people. I knew him not only professionally, but personally. I knew Mr. Cottman as a friend before we got to work. We had the opportunity to work together because we're both musicians and we had opportunities to play together in the past. He was a special man to thousands of people, myself included. And I think his legacy will be that he dedicated his life to young people. That was his passion, and I feel honored to have been able to do that with him also in a professional capacity.
One thing, Mr. Cottman, I think for all the PTECH students, all the students, period, he's a good support system, and he was there for you, and he let you know that you can do it, you can finish school, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And he was always pushing me to be a better me, my better self. So that's what my memory is.
He had a special knack about him because he was very motivating. He always encouraged students to do their best. He was always their cheerleader in the background, making sure that they knew that they could do it. And so I think that just his consistent, kind nature, his motivation, his inspiration will carry over, and that will help get our students across the stage as they show their commitment and dedication and their appreciation for what he brought to the table.
His strength and what he has done will definitely live on forever. And everyone that he's touched and reached have became a part of who he is. And I also want to thank his family for allowing us to be a part of his life, be a part of his legacy, be a part of his truth. Mr. Cottman was one of a kind, and he never wavered on who he was. And I admire that about him, because not too many people can stand firm in who they are and what they believe, and keep that and just allow that energy to be projected on to others.
For sure, I think his legacy is definitely going to be to connect with students in a way, probably mentoring. That's something that I think we need to, it's something that he wanted to see, he wanted to have for all of his students, because he realized that, the positive influences in your life are what you need to become strong and combat any possible negative forces. So, the mentoring, I think, we need to come up with a way that we can, just connect with students in a way that mentoring happens and mentoring becomes strong, and that will be a legacy of something that he started and that he was passionate about, and that's something I think we should, definitely work to continue.
To Mr. Cottman's family, we feel like we are a part of the family. So Steph was always here at school with us. He always talked about his brother and what was happening at his school. He always spoke about how he supported his wife and all of his extra, his band and his ministry. And so to the family, we say that you'll always be a part of the New Era family. We're here to support you through this. We love you, and thank you for sharing Mr. Cottman with us for these last 3.5 years.